Hello. What is up, party fam? It is me, AB Shorty. Your girl is back after a couple months, and I'm just excited to see where this is gonna go. Yeah, so as you can see, obviously, today there's no video because I've been getting really into podcasts lately, so I thought I would try my hand at it, and who knows, maybe it'll be the bomb, or maybe it will bomb. So, yeah, I just want to see where this is gonna go, and I am so excited for today. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about, and yeah, let's get started. All right, fam. So I'm super excited to start some podcast episodes. I really hope this works and we can do more. I'm still testing out the audio here, so if it's spotty, just let me know and we can fix it. So, yeah, first of all, I want to talk about why I started a podcast episode. Like I said, I've been getting super into podcasts recently, and I just think it's sometimes really soothing because sometimes you don't want to always sit there and watch a video for like umpteen minutes, like whether it's like 20 minutes or an hour or whatever. So I was like, yeah, that's a really good point. And so I thought I'd try it. And, like I said, maybe it'll tank and maybe I should just stick to videos, but who knows? Maybe it'll go well. So yeah, I thought podcasts would be a really good way to connect with my fam. And sometimes, honestly, editing a video can take a lot of extra work. So I thought, maybe this will be a great way during the middle of the school year to just still be able to stay connected and on my website, but not have as much extra work. So yeah. So yeah, that was so I don't know what that was. That was so not me. So yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get into this. Right. Well, like I said, there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about, to tackle, but maybe we won't get through all of them. So maybe if this goes well, I might have to do a second episode or something. Who knows? I don't know. Uh, but one thing I really wanted to talk about, so since I've been gone for a while, there's been a lot of changes going on in my life. I'm just trying to figure out different stuff, blah, blah, blah. I won't bore you with all the details. But I just wanted to talk about so there's a lot of changes just in my life and in the world today, of course, with so much going on, so much, political stuff and controversial stuff and blah, blah, blah. Everything's just kind of a big mess. And I just, I've been trying to deal a lot lately with really focusing on with so many changes happening, and I've been talking about this with someone else, was it's how do you stay focused and not give in to so much fear when there's so many changes happening in your life and in the world. And it can be really hard, especially when so many other people are just saying so many things that can feed into your anxiety, or maybe you don't have anxiety, but just kind of feeds into your worries and your doubts, and it gets really hard sometimes. Honestly, I struggle a lot with just being able to stay focused and remember that it's all going to be okay. It's going to work itself out in the end. And yeah, it can be really tough sometimes. For those of you who don't know, I'm a very spiritual wow. Blech. All the talking. I'm a very spiritual person, so trying to stay in my close relationship to God can be really hard, especially these days, and I'm very bad at it. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm so bad at it, and I'm trying to get better because I think sometimes, you just gotta be honest. Be like, yes, I'm a Christian, but sometimes I suck at staying connected to God because, I don't wanna I wanna be honest, obviously. And sometimes it's just better when you're like, yeah, I love this thing, or even if you're, not a spiritual person and you're like, I don't connect to God, but you're like, there's things in your life that you wish you would pay more attention to, and you just don't. Maybe it's just because you get distracted or whatever. But like with change, it is so hard to stay focused and centered on the things that really matter to you. So, I lost my train of thought. So, yeah. And I think yeah. Who am I today? Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. Wow, I can't stop saying yeah. Yeah, cut it out. Okay. So I think one important thing that I want to learn and teach myself, because I think sometimes I'm like, this is what I'm working on when I'm really not, or I've only worked on it a few times. So I'm gonna try and say if I'm not actually working on something I'd like to inspire to, aspire to, not inspire to, is to just really calm myself down when I hear about all these changes and the stuff like happening with like just in the world. I won't get too deep into it because I don't want to get like controversial or whatever and get so caught up on that stuff. But I think one important thing that I really want to aspire to is with change, it's really hard, like I said, obviously, to focus on the things that matter to you. But I think also a really important thing is to just take time, you know, set your phone down, for whatever, 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever time you can set aside, and just don't always be on social media, which I know I struggle with because social media is so addicting. And sometimes that can be good because it can be a great way to connect. But sometimes I know if I see so many things about controversial things or just random stuff that feeds into my anxiety, then I feel worse than when I got onto social media. And one thing I had actually seen on social media recently was it was a really good point. Some famous person had said something about like, just because you have downtime, don't and it's like 2 minutes of downtime, don't always put that as like I'm gonna go and scroll on social media or whatever. And I thought that was a really good point, the person who had said that, because it's like so often we think we have so much downtime and we're like, oh, we're gonna spend it on social media. And I think sometimes that's good because sometimes you just need to mindlessly scroll and just get your mind off of things. But sometimes it can make it worse because if you see something that upsets you or a comment, goodness, can I talk today? Who knows? A comment or a post or a video or whatever, and it just upsets you, and then you just feel worse, And it's, I think, a really good thing that I'm going to try and do, because, like I said, I don't want to say I've been doing this because I haven't been doing great at it, but one thing I think I'm really going to try and aspire to do is when I have downtime, not spend every minute of it on the screen. Whether it's like for me, like I said, I'm trying to get back into doing devotions because, like I said, I'm a pretty spiritual person, a religious person. So trying to connect back to God, maybe if I have downtime, the next time I have 10 minutes, just spend it praying or, pray about like, say, stuff that's been going on in the world or individual things, or be like, hey, this person's been on my mind, or even just maybe if you have downtime, spend it. This might sound really weird, but I'm a person who something very therapeutic for me is to clean and like deep clean, and especially because uh, my parents and I have been doing that a lot recently. Because, like I said, we've been going through a lot of changes in our lives right now. Um, but like deep cleaning, there's something very satisfying about like just getting your hands into the deep crevices of like your closet. That was really gross. I don't know, that was a really weird analogy. I didn't mean that to be really weird, but just something about like diving your hands, getting them not necessarily dirty, but like just getting through the deep back part of that drawer that has dust filled clothes or toys from like when you're 5, or, you know, goodness, stuff you're like, why did I keep that? That was so embarrassing. Just something like that. Just ideas to really get your mind off of stuff, or even let go of stuff that you didn't even know you were holding on to. And goodness, I am preaching to the choir here because I am so good at holding on to stuff that does not matter. Like, ask my family, seriously, and my friends, queen of it, master. Like, I should get a little crown and be like, queen of holding on to stuff that doesn't matter. Maybe I'll get that. But I think it's just really important, especially these days, to just take a step back and know that we don't always have to be on top of everything. And change, though it can be scary, and diversity sometimes can be scary. And I'm not talking about like cultural diversity, I'm talking about like so many diverse opinions and whatnot. While it can be a good thing, because, if everyone agreed, that would just be boring, it can also be hard and scary sometimes to deal with this stuff, because it's like, if you feel like not everyone agrees with you, then you feel like you're in the wrong or they're in the wrong, and that just, it gets so complicated and just so stressful, I feel like sometimes. So I think a really great way to step back, in my opinion, a great way is, like I said, get off of social media, you know, take a step back. Because I will unintentionally spend like 2 hours on social media when I could have been, cleaning or doing my homework or practicing, or even just, talking to my parents and being like, hey, dad, how was your day? Mom, how was your day? Can I pray for you? Is there anything you'd like help with? And I think we so easily lose that contact. Like, we're so much more connected these days, obviously, with phones and whatnot and technology, which is really awesome. We're really blessed in this day and age that we can connect to people, across the world. And especially with, like, everything with happening with like Ukraine and Russia. And I won't get, into political or whatever with that. Just like being able to like let people know, like, hey, people are praying for you. You're not alone. This is a scary thing you're going through, but we're here for you. And just, that's awesome. But sometimes we can also get so distracted by it that we forget to just have some deep, meaningful conversations too. Wow, I just said like, like 40 times in the past 2 minutes. But, anyways, so I would say, yeah, one great thing with dealing with change is to get off your phone. Go clean your room, or deep clean that closet that's been sitting in the corner, that drawer that's been sitting there for 10 years collecting dust or whatever. Just step aside, step back, take a moment to just breathe, you know? I said, again. Do some yoga, take a walk outside, unless you're like me and you live in the cold, the cold Middle West, and you cannot always go outside because it's cold and windy. Uh, anyways, getting off topic there, but so yeah, that was one big thing, is just change. Change is hard, but it's not always bad, and it's not always good, and it's not always easy, but it's not always hard, because that made sense. But when we just take aside a few moments for ourselves and connect with family or God or yourself, and just get out of our own headspace sometimes, we just feel better. And it can just do a lot for us, more than we realize, too. So yeah, change is definitely, it's a very interesting thing to talk about. But anyways, going on, that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Another thing I wanted to talk about was just lost my train of thought again. Goodness. Today, I should really not be recording today because it is not my day to talk. Goodness. Good gracious. Another thing I wanted to talk about was somewhat about anxieties again, and this kind of goes with changes. But like, if you've watched my videos before, or if you know me personally, I deal a lot with anxiety and depression, and that's not easy to admit, you know? I don't go broadcasting it everywhere. And sometimes I'll just mention that as someone it's like, "Oh, I'm so anxious." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get that." But like sometimes when people say that, other people don't realize that they really mean it. And sometimes it's like you don't want to have a deep rooted life-changing conversation with every person you meet in the street or whatever. Not saying I just go up to people in the street and be like, "Hey, I have anxiety. How about you?" Because that would be weird. And I would definitely not be the type of person to do that. But hey, if you're that type of person, I guess good for you for being bold. You know what? You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. But yeah, I also really wanted to talk about anxiety and just personally, I think one thing with having anxiety, and because this goes a lot with changes, like I said, is that anxiety is it's such a deep rooted and complicated topic, I think sometimes, that, and it's like most things in life, that we make it so overly complicated, and it doesn't need to be, but sometimes it is complicated. But with anxiety, and I've been having a lot of anxiety about all the changes in my life that have been going on. I think it's just recognizing that I don't know what that noise was. um, recognizing that it's okay to be anxious. And I was talking with, I think it was my mom or someone else recently. I don't remember. And we're just talking about like sometimes, yeah, I do remember because it was my mom, and I had this music audition like a month ago or 2 months ago, and I was really anxious and overstressing and doing a typical me thing of worrying about something that doesn't matter in the long run. But just talking about like sometimes so often when we're nervous about things, people say, you know, "You're fine, tell yourself you're not anxious, you're okay, you're gonna be fine." But sometimes I think we need to really recognize that in that moment, I am feeling anxious. I need to recognize that. Like, okay, I'm feeling anxious, but it's okay that I'm feeling anxious. And yeah, I might shake during this audition or be nervous, or I might mess up a note or a scale, but it's okay because that's life. And even though we'd like things to be perfect, they're not going to be perfect as much as we'd love them to be. And just recognizing that it's okay, you know? You're gonna be okay. Sometimes it definitely does not feel like it. Now I'm saying sometimes, like 50 times in a row. But I have struggled a lot with that, is just recognizing that I am anxious. Because so often when I'm anxious, I'm like, no, I'm trying to deny it. Ugh, deny it and be like, no, I refuse to be anxious. And that can be good. But sometimes you also just need to recognize that just because you're anxious doesn't mean you need to deny it. You don't always have to stuff it down. Sometimes recognizing that releases you more and allows you to be like, okay, I'm anxious. This is how I'm feeling. So, what am I going to do about this? Am I just going to be okay with it and just go and do this thing that needs to be done, whether it's an audition or gotta get this assignment in on time, or, you know, worrying about like parenting, whatever your struggles are, work, life, whatever, new changes in your life, and just being like, yeah, I'm anxious because I'm worried that this isn't going to go well, but I'm okay. You know, it's it's okay. I know that somehow it is going to work out. And it might not be always how we want it or how we expected it, but it's gonna work out. Yeah, well, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. This just feels so good, guys, to get back and connect with you. And whether it's, you know, 5 people or 500 people who listen to this, I just know sometimes we need to say the things that other people don't always want to talk about because they feel embarrassed or uncomfortable. But I'm really trying to get out of my comfort zone, being like, hey, let's talk about this because I'm struggling with this, or my friend's struggling with this, or whatever. But yeah, it's been kind of a serious conversation today, which is good. Because we need those serious conversations, but it's also good to have some lighthearted stuff, break from some of the serious stuff. So I was going to say something and then I totally forgot. Yeah. Maybe this is probably good that I'm not recording this because I would edit out so much of my video right now. You should see what is going on. It's so empty. Like, I don't know what I'm even talking about anymore. My room right now is so messy, guys. It's insane. It is so insane right now. I just got so serious again. Goodness. Like, my room is so messy because I've been trying to deep clean it and go through stuff and get rid of stuff and whatnot. So, yes. So yes, changes, anxiety, lot of deep-rooted stuff. But I kind of wanted to also talk about a lighthearted topic today. So I thought I could end this episode by I should stop pausing every 50 seconds. Goodness. 50, more like every 5. Oh, goodness. Yeah, no, I'm not sad at all. Oh boy. So I thought with my first podcast episode, and like I said, maybe there'll be more, maybe they won't, I don't know. You guys let me know what you want to talk about. Would you like to hear some fun stories? I've got plenty of fun stories. I've got sad stories. I've got situations like anxiety, also dealing with I know I've written about one of my articles before about being a short person on my website. That's definitely been interesting. But let me know in the comments about what do you want to talk about? What would you like to hear being discussed? What are things you deal with? And what are your opinions on them? I would love to hear that, honestly, guys. I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, because it's great to hear different perspectives, because sometimes you learn stuff you didn't think about before or know about. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought I would kind of end my podcast today with just taking it back and step away from the serious and go a little lighthearted. So I am going to open this up with, I'm going to end the podcast with a question. I should get to the point because I've been rambling on for the past 4 minutes. So I'm going to end my podcast with an open-ended question to talk about. I'll give you my opinion on it. And then in the comments, let me know about what your opinion is or whatever, along with what topics you'd like to discuss and whatnot, or who you'd like to hear on the videos with me. And if you have more challenge ideas or article ideas, just whatever, throw them at me, guys, you know? Please, not literally. Wow, that was a sad joke. I have been in my room for way too long, goodness. And it's Saturday afternoon. It is not. It is Sunday. Wow. Goodness, it has been a long weekend. Wow. Okay. The question, that's what we were talking about, right? Sure. Yeah, we'll say yes. But the question I'm going to ask to end my podcast today is what do you like to do on a Sunday afternoon? I had posted this weeks ago, I remember on my Instagram, asked my peoples, what do you like to do on a Sunday afternoon? Relax, chill, whatever. Goodness, goodness, it is not my day today. I will tell you that. Oof. Okay. So yeah, I like to chill, watch TV. Sometimes I paint. I'm obviously doing this today, which is actually pretty relaxing for me. So I like to hang out with fam. If I'm out of town, visiting family, then hang out with family. But yeah, I usually watch TV, movies. Big TV junkie here, guys. Big TV junkie. Movies. That is my jam. Listen to music while I deep clean for the 800. Good. Okay. Good grief. I should get off here soon before I really say something embarrassing. Maybe it's too late, but yeah, that's what I like to do, anyways. While I deep clean for the 800th time, that's what I was trying to say. Ugh. So, yeah, what do you like to do to relax on a Sunday afternoon? I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. It's good to be back, and I hope to be posting more podcasts, videos, and articles in the future. Let me know what you guys want to hear. I want to hear it. Let me know. Throw it at me. Again, not literally. Yeah, I'm gonna stop now. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Blech. I'm gonna stop now, but you enjoy your day, the rest of your evening, night, morning, whenever you're listening to this. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I just hope you have a good week. I pray that it's healthy and safe and awesome, and you can just make the most out of it. And remember to stay calm with the changes and your anxieties. You can make it. You got this. God's with you, and I'm praying for you. I love you guys. Stay safe. Stay weird. Stay awesome. Stay beautiful. Love you guys. Bye.